Whether you are a college student who can't keep up with all of your lectures, or a corporate employee who needs to go through the files to prepare the material for a meeting, sometimes you just don't have enough hours in a day to get all of the work done. That's why in this video, we are going to check out a couple of AIs that can condense long articles into easily digestible notes. Which AI are we talking about? Watch this video to find out. Imagine it's the Sunday night and you have an important quiz tomorrow morning that you really can't afford to fail. Now, instead of having fun and resting on the weekends like you normally would, you have to stay up all night studying the course material. How many times have you found yourself in a similar situation? Now, what if I told you that you don't have to sacrifice your sleep anymore? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, that's exactly what AI tools like SMMRY and Resoomer are here for. How do they work? And how can you use them for yourself? Let's find out one by one. First up is SMMRY. SMMRY is a straightforward and efficient AI-based tool that extracts the most critical information from long-form text. Instead of manually reading and summarizing, you can use this AI to generate a concise version in just a few clicks. It identifies and retains key sentences while eliminating fluff. So instead of going through hours worth of reading material, you can go through it in just a few minutes. Let me show you how. When you go to their website, you'll see a pretty easy to understand interface. On the left side, you enter the text, and it spits out the summary on the right side. There's also an option to sign into the website, but the cool thing about this tool is that you don't need an account to make it work, and all of its features are completely free. Now, let's take a look at their UI first, and then we'll test it out as well. First, there is the input box on the left. Here, you can write or copy-paste the content you are trying to shorten. Alternatively, you can even link a website or upload a file, and the AI will shorten the content from there as well. As for the Settings tab, you are going to see several options that will change the way it summarizes. The Avoid question, Avoid exclamations, and Avoid quotations buttons let you skip those when you are condensing articles or research papers. The heat map color codes the generated summary so you know where to focus. If you turn this option on, the text highlighted in red is the most important, while the text highlighted in yellow is the least important. The Specify topic lets you pick out your point of focus so you can extract the relevant information easily. For example, if you are going through an article that talks about a list of herbs and their chemical composition, if you want to know which one of them contains a specific compound, all you have to do is check this option and enter the keywords, and it will color code the generated response as well. Here, the green color would mean it's the most important, and the blue would mean it's the least important one. Lastly, you get the option to save settings, but that's only possible if you've signed into an account. Below the input box, you'll notice that there are two more options besides the Summarize button. The first one lets you choose from a long list of languages. Then there's a slider that lets you decide the length of the summary. Shorter would mean that it will have to skip on some details, while longer would mean that there might be some fluff added. That's why you need to find a balance. For starters, just let it sit on its default position. Okay, let's test it out now. Suppose that you have this article that you want to read in a short time. We are going to copy the text from it and then paste it into SMMRY. We won't change any settings and just click on Summarize. Within just a few seconds, the article, which is over 5,000 words long, has been converted into a 500-word short story that you can read in just a few minutes. Next, we can copy and paste it somewhere, or share it on Twitter or Instagram with the respective buttons at the bottom. You might have also noticed that at the top of the generated summary, there are three options. As the name suggests, the bullet list would give you bullet points of only the important stuff. The one-liner would summarize the article into pointers. However, these options can't be used right now since they are paid and come with version 2.0. Now, let's try to generate a summary with just a link. This time, we'll turn on the heat map option in the settings. Suppose we want to condense this article. We'll simply copy the link from the toolbar, go back to SMMRY, click on Website URL, and paste it there. Next, just click on Summarize and let it work its magic. Just a side note, you will have to sign into the website if you want to summarize multiple articles. But don't worry, you get 2 summaries per day completely free. As you can see, not only did the AI summarize it, but it also color-coded the sentences. For example, the first sentence is relevant to the whole story. However, the second one describes the appearance of the girl, which isn't relevant for us since we want to go through it quickly. If you really like the AI and think that it's made for you, then you can check out their premium version, which doesn't cost a lot. Currently, they offer 2 premium plans that you can choose from. Or, if you want to keep on using it for free, you could create multiple accounts and switch between them as their 2 summaries get consumed. Moving on to the next tool on the list, we have Resoomer. This tool might look even simpler than SMMRY, but it's packed with a lot of useful features. And just like the last one, it's free to use as well. First, let's take a look at the various tools that we can use with it. If we click on the drop-down button where it says Summarizer, we'll see a list with a whole lot of options like text player, paraphrase, and text rewriter, etc. So, you already know that it's great for you if you are a student. Now, let's try to summarize something. Just like SMMRY, we have a text box where we can enter a text or a URL, and it will go on with the summary. However, there's an added feature. If you click on the upload button, you'll see a pop-up with 2 new options: uploading an image or a YouTube video. Let's skip it for now and use the same example as before to see if it works. After pasting the text, click on the Resoomer button, and it will start summarizing for you. You'll notice that it stops after a couple of sentences and asks you to log in first, which takes you to their Buy Pro version page. But don't worry. Simply click on the Assisted button at the top and change it to Automatic, and it will start summarizing again. Once it's done, just click on the Settings icon at the top, and then you can just copy it or download it in a PDF or doc format. One thing to note is that you will have to browse through the pages at the bottom if your original text was too long, like the one we used here. Let's move on to some other cool features. First, we will check out their text player, which reads out the summaries you have written. So just copy the text that it had generated and click on Tools at the top, and then Text Player. Here, just paste what you had copied and click on Read. In a few seconds, you'll see the same text in the next window, but this time there's a play and a stop button on the top. Next to these buttons, there's another button with which you can change the reader's settings, like reading speed, pitch, and voice. Now, when you click on the play button, it will start reading the article for you, so you can multitask while listening to your reading material. Moving on to the favorite tool for students, the paraphraser. Here, the UI is mostly the same and works similarly to the summarizer. You paste some text or upload a document, and it does the heavy lifting for you. Let's use the summarized text here as well. Just paste the copied text in the box on the left and click on the paraphrase button. At first glance, you'll notice that it hasn't paraphrased anything for you, and it's the same text. Hold on to your horses, because there's more to it. Notice that the text in the editor is underlined? Well, that's because you can change it by just clicking on the sentence and then choosing the AI-suggested alternative. This way, you have more control over the output, and you can personalize it more so it doesn't get caught. Speaking of getting caught, you can also compare the paraphrase content with just a few clicks. Just copy the paraphrase content and go to the text comparator tool. Next, paste the original text as well as the paraphrase text, and then click on the compare button at the bottom. We'll use their own example for this video. As you can see, the comparator has highlighted quite a lot of words here. What does that mean? Well, those are the words that have been changed in order to paraphrase the original document. So, when you are paraphrasing something, just paste the content here and try to compare and see if it's obvious. Just play around with words and sentences until you end up with something that looks original. Now, as a bonus, we can even use ChatGPT to summarize the content for us. After all, that is one AI that we are most familiar with. Unlike the other two on this list, you can customize what output you want from the AI. All you need to do is to use a prompt that will work. So first, we go to ChatGPT and open a new conversation. Next, we are going to engineer a prompt that works. A free tip is that you should first note down what you want from the AI in a notepad so you know what you are working with. Suppose that we want the AI to give us a summary of this article. If we simply ask it to summarize, the results might not be that good. Instead, we have to ask it what tone we want. Do we want it in a paragraph form or bullet points? Or what should be the final word count? Keeping all of that in mind, we are going to write this prompt. Next, we'll paste the article here and just press enter. As you can see, it has summarized it quite well, and now we can go through it in just a few minutes. Plus, with the bullet point format, we can even use this article as notes for our studies, for example. That's it for this video. What is your opinion on these two tools? Will you be using them for research or work as well? Let us know in the comments. And like always, subscribe to the channel for more awesome tutorials in the future.